permissions management, application management. Okay, so process management. There are so many things. Firewall, SE Linux. Okay, and bit of troubleshooting. Obviously, I'm not going to just skip the topics. Uh, if this had been a Linux administration topic or the class like RHCSA preparation, then we had then the approach might be different. We would then cover the same topics even further detail, or we'll just deep dive into the topics. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. Again, guys, there are no prerequisites for this Linux fundamental topic. Even if you are from a non-technical background, don't worry. We are going to learn Linux from scratch, okay, step by step, and it's all practical. So you'll be learning by doing, okay? All right, guys, so let me start. And guys, if you feel that I am speaking a bit fast or a bit slow, you want me to adjust maybe the speed or anything else, just let me know. All right, so I'll make those adjustments. Right. Okay, so Linux fundamentals for DevOps. We have to start with this. I told you yesterday.
One question. Sorry
Yes,
for.
please. Yeah.
So this Linux fundamentals, whatever, but the DevOps. So these commands, whatever we are going to discuss with next 13 hours. So this will going to be helpful for us in like a Docker or
Absolutely.
Kubernetes
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Terraforms, all
Yes, Terraform,
those.
Ansible, all covered.
Okay,
Yeah.
all covered.
Yes.
So will not be the difference anything into the Ubuntu commands, Linux comment
No,
on this?
no, no. Okay,
Okay.
there will be one difference. Uh, let's say you want to install something, some application in CentOS Linux or Red Hat Linux. The command is like DNF install, let's say Firefox browser. Okay, but in Ubuntu, it is going to be apt install. If you're using, or if you're on another operating system like SUSE Linux, then the command will be zapper install. Okay, the command is different, but the background functionality of that command is exactly the same. Okay, so the fundamentals are the same. Maybe the command is different. Once you are, once we clear this course, once we are done with fundamentals, you'll be able to work with any distribution. It can be CentOS, it can be Ubuntu, it can be SUSE Linux. Okay, and as I said, as we proceed further, I'll be guiding you. I'll be, helping you understand what are these different flavors, and where are these different flavors used. Okay, for example, Red Hat Linux. Where is Red Hat Linux operating system used versus where is CentOS used? Why not Red Hat is everywhere and why not CentOS is everywhere? Okay, so there are reasons behind everything. Okay, so I'll help you understand that. Okay,
We will get the practice also for this.
sorry.
Practice to the commands to practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, yeah, as I said, it's all practical. So with every topic, there is a guided exercise. Guided exercise means, for example, let me just pull one. So the guided exercises start from chapter 3 when we cover basic stuff, right? Or maybe chapter 4. No, where is that? Hold on. Here it is. Okay, like this guided exercise. Here, you just simply have the commands, but otherwise it looks something like this. No, not this one. Here it is. Guided exercise for configuring password aging with chh command. So it's like task and the solution, and the task and the solution. So this is guided exercise. You will get the solution, and then there is a lab. So the same topic, but there is another set of exercise which is the lab, where you don't get to see the answers. Since this is the first lab in this topic, so that's why I have kept some answers or the solutions here. Otherwise, it will be purely task. Okay, and then you have to maybe revise the same topic again if you don't know the solutions, right? Similarly, for the next topic as well, you will get to see one guided exercise, and then like this, there's a guided exercise with solutions, and then there is a lab. Here you don't see any solution. It is all just tasks. Okay, and throughout this course, as I said, I'm going to use the virtual machine. I'm going to run the commands. Okay, you can also replicate that maybe after the class when you have the recordings available. You can also repeat, or you just go through the class and just go with the guided exercise and the labs, right? So this is the format throughout the course. And obviously, after let's say 4 or 5 topics, there will be a comprehensive practice lab where we will have 4 to 5 lab scenarios. based on the task, you need to perform the questions on the virtual machine on the operating system. Okay.
We'll get the lab.
You mean to
Lab
say
access.
lab access? Okay, yeah. So you must have received an email. If not, let me ask the support team to send you the access for the online lab. Okay. So in the online lab, there are two servers pre-configured for you, server A, server B, Linux operating system, and you can just simply start the server and you can just access the GUI and work on the machine. Okay. So I'll show you how it is done. Right. All right,
Final
guys. So
thing, we'll get this PPT for us.
yes, yes. So whatever we study in this live session, for example, I'm using this PPT. I'll be using this notepad to, for the class notes, right? So all these will be saved in a Google Drive. So by tomorrow, I'll be sharing two links, one Google Drive link and one Telegram link. Okay, so that we all, will be part of one single group, like DevOps Jan weekdays, right? And I'll be posting the updates over there. If you have any doubts or queries, just post with the screenshot. Let's say you're practicing, you're getting some errors, just take a screenshot, post it there in the group, Telegram group, and I'll be helping you out with that. Okay, so Google Drive is not yet ready right now. So maybe tomorrow when we start the class, first thing I'm going to share the Google Drive link and the Telegram link. All right. And yes, this complete PPT, which is approximately how much? 300 slides for Linux. I'll be sharing this in advance. Okay. So whatever topic we are going to start or whatever module we are going to start, I'm going to share the entire material in advance. Obviously, the class notes will be as per the class. Like if I use this notepad for today's session, I'll be uploading it onto the Google Drive. But the material like the PDFs, the PPTs will be available, will be provided to you in advance. All right. Okay, guys. So just a brief history about Linux. Then I'll show you how to create your own virtual machine on your own laptop. Okay. And the alternative, as I said, the online lab. Okay. So I'll show you how that works. All right. So Linux operating system, how was this originated? Let me take you back to 1960s or 70s in that era. In that era, Unix operating system was really popular, UNIX. Okay, it was based on C, C++ language, okay, programming language. And it was really popular because number one, it supported multitasking at that time. I'm talking about 1960s and 70s. And in that era, the computers were not like we have today on our on our desks. Not There were no laptops, obviously, and the computers were massive, huge. Okay, just like you have a wardrobe at your home, bigger than that. Okay, so they used to occupy the complete room. Those were big machines. Okay, and at that time, Unix operating system, which was based on C, C++, uh, was used as an operating system which provided these features like multitasking, okay, multi-user, like multiple users can log into the server and work. Security, one was that, yeah, automation with shell scripting. I'll tell you what is that. Okay, and many more features. So these are all modern day features. Like uh, you know think of an Android phone when it was really popular, like 2010 or 2009. They boasted this feature, like this phone supports multitasking. Okay, what is big in that? The big thing is you can run multiple applications parallelly. Okay, and Unix basically had this feature in 1970, right? So this was a really good operating system at that time. It was a proprietary OS, which means the source code was not available. Okay, since the source code was not available, all the curious developers, programmers around the world, they were like, we want to see how this operating system works, but they don't have access to the source code, right? So what most of them tried was they wanted to clone the Unix operating system. Okay, so they all wanted to clone this Unix operating system. And out of those many developers, Linus Torvalds from Poland, Linus Torvalds, okay, so Linus Torvalds, based out of Poland. So he basically started the same thing, clone the Unix operating system as a hobby project, okay, and named it as Linux, Lin from his name, and UX from Unix, okay, UNX from Unix, and LIN from his name, the three characters. It becomes Linux, Linux. Okay, so this is how this Linux uh, name was, given to this operating system or this hobby project at this stage, right? So now one more thing. Now Linus Torvalds basically started the development of the core of the operating system. The core of the operating system in any operating system is called kernel. Even in your phones, if you have an iPhone or Android, just go to the settings, go to the software, and you will see, let's say iOS, Apple, so iOS version 26 something, and then below you will see kernel version. Okay. Same for Android phones. When you go to the about phone settings, and you'll see the Android version 14, 15, whatever it is, and below that you will see kernel version. Okay, so this, what is this kernel? So kernel is the main component of any operating system which communicates with the hardware. For example, on your phone, you turn off the Bluetooth, you turn on the Bluetooth. How it is happening? You are just interacting with the interface. You use your finger and you touch the icon, Bluetooth icon, and it glows and goes back, turns off, right? So how it is happening? In the background, these are basically signals, or you can say instructions. These instructions are sent by the operating system to the kernel, and then kernel communicates with the Bluetooth module, which is on the motherboard of the hardware, phone, laptop, desktop, whatever it is. Okay, so this kernel is the main component in any operating system. So Linus Torvalds started working on the kernel development, which he wanted to clone same as Unix operating system, right? So this is the Linux kernel he's building right now. And while he is developing it, obviously he realized that, building the entire operating system is not a, child's play. It needs a team. So instead of hiring, people, obviously he's a student at this level. So what he thought of is to keep the source code open or available for free. Okay, so yes, this was a very good move. So he kept the source code open. So now it is an open source project. Okay, so now this kernel, Linux kernel is now an open source project where multiple developers around the world can, access and also contribute. They can also enhance the features, and they can basically fix bugs. They can collaborate, they can work together, and they can keep on improving Linux kernel. Okay, so this is the power of Linux kernel, and this was actually recognized first by the organization called Red Hat. So Red Hat basically specializes in open source technologies. They basically find best of the best open source softwares. They also contribute to it, they enhance it, and they also provide support. Okay, and then they charge for it, charge for the support. Okay, support in the sense, let's say Red Hat Linux operating system. If any organization is using Red Hat Linux operating system, they can contact Red Hat experts and get help. And for that, Red Hat charges money, right? So it's called subscription. Okay, so organizations pay subscription fee to Red Hat. It's a recurring cost year on year. And in return, they get timely updates and support from Red Hat. Okay, so Red Hat engineers, they can basically fix any issue within 1 or 2 hours, business hours. Okay, and they can also take the screen share session and help you out. Let's say the server is not booting up. You can simply raise a support case with Red Hat and they can help you. They will be able to help you within that, 1 or 2 hours time window, and they'll fix the issue. Okay. So Linux kernel is open source. When I say open source, it simply means source code is available. You can download it for free. If you are a developer, you know how to build an operating system, you can try it out. Okay. If you want to see where is this source code, just Google it, right? Just type Linux kernel. That's it. Linux kernel download. All right. So you will see first link the Linux kernel archives. Here you will find all the Linux kernel versions. Okay. But the main one is here, GitHub. The source code is saved on GitHub, which you can see torvalds/Linux. Click on it and you'll see more details. So he is Linus Torvalds. Let me just open his profile if I can. Um, Hold on. Yeah, here it is. So he's Linus. Oh, wait a minute. It went back. Yeah. So Linus Torvalds is the owner of Torvalds repository. Okay. And he's hosting the Linux kernel source code. You can check. And he's also the developer of Git the application, based on which GitHub is in the market. All right, so Linux kernel and all of these files are basically the source code files. Okay, if you want to basically test this kernel, if you know how to do it, you have to download the source code, compile it into the executable file. You will get VM Linux file and then use it to boot your machine. Okay, so this is something very advanced, but yes, this is the source code. If you want to download, you see this green button, click on download zip, and there you go. You have downloaded the source code, and it's all based on C, C++. Let me show you. Let's get into maybe drivers. You can just open any directory. Okay. And I'm just opening one file. This is all C code, C language. Okay. For those who are from technical background, they have studied C language in their college days, they will recognize this, what's happening here, right? So there is a function, some include header files, right? Okay, so multiple things are happening here. Obviously, if you don't know coding, it's all alien to you, and that's perfectly fine. You need not to learn any programming language when you're learning Linux. Okay, you just need to learn how to use it. We are not learning Linux development. We are learning how to use Linux. Okay, Linux as an operating system, right? So just like Red Hat, they recognize the potential of Linux kernel. It's open source. Also, it can compete with Windows. Okay. So Red Hat developed their version of Linux operating system and they named it RHEL, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And the latest version is 10. Okay. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 10. And their earning model is, as I said, they charge a subscription fee for it. If you want to use Red Hat uh, Enterprise Linux 10 personally, you can use it for free. See, since the open source, there are certain rules with open source. Rule number one, source code is available. Rule number two, this source code can be modified and redistributed by a different name. Okay, different name means there is a Red Hat Enterprise Linux, there is Ubuntu Linux, there is SUSE Linux, there is Debian Linux, there is BSD Linux. There are so many Linux versions or flavors, we call them flavors or distributions available in the market because of this thing, because it is allowed in open source. Okay, and one more thing. If you are using the source code, you are modifying it, redistributing it with a different name, then you have to also keep it open source, which means RHEL's 10 source code is also available, or Red Hat Enterprise Linux source code should also be available. So everything is source code, open source, right? Okay, so this is the power of open source platform. Okay, so Red Hat identified the potential. Similarly, there used to be an organization group of developers called CentOS, and they did the same. Download the Linux kernel, modify it in a way that it can be a full-fledged operating system, which can be used for free, updates for free, but no support. Okay, so CentOS said, okay, use it for free, free to use and update, but no support. And Red Hat says, free to use, but updates and support is paid. Updates and support. Okay, paid via subscription model. Okay, so where is Red Hat operating system used? Where is CentOS used? Red Hat operating system is used on production servers, live servers, okay, where the business application is running. Business application means that application which is generating revenue for the business, for the company, right? So those servers basically are those softwares are basically installed on Red Hat Linux operating system. Okay, CentOS operating system, as it says, free to use, free to update, and no support. So this operating system is mainly used by testing team, development team, uh, quality assurance team. Okay, so not in the production, because if something happens or something goes bad in the production server, then let's say the administrators fail to fix it, eventually they will reach out to the vendor. Okay, and in CentOS, it's not possible. You have to rely on various online forums. If someone else is facing a similar issue, might be you get the solution. Or even better, if you are on Red Hat operating system, you simply contact Red Hat. They will fix it for you. You don't have to do any, the searching and all. Just simply contact them. They will fix it, right? Okay, so Sudhir is asking, are you going to cover patch install? Yes, obviously, it is part of the curriculum. When I say application installation management, yes, we are going to see how patching is done. It is nothing, it's just one single command. Okay, but I'll help you understand how it works. Okay, so one more thing, could you please tell how Linux is used in company? Yeah, so as I said, Red Hat Linux operating system, you will see it on production servers, CentOS on test servers, on non-production servers, okay, used by different teams like quality assurance, testing team, and so on. Akash is asking, can anyone create their own OS using Linux kernel? Yes. This is the reason that you have these many Linux operating systems in the market. Most of them are free. Okay, like Mint OS or Pop OS, Arc Linux, um, Rocky Linux. So these are all Linux distributions. Okay, so again, as I said, OS development is not one man's job. You need a team. If let's say you are, let's say, 10 or 20 developers, a team of 20 developers, you can, yes, plan for the operating system build. You use the Linux kernel source code and build around the GUI and some special features if you're thinking of any, and then release it into the market. Okay. The thing is, you will have to keep your entire project open source. Okay, it will be for available for free. You can't charge money for it. Okay. If you want to charge money, you can charge money for the support, like Red Hat is doing. But then you're then competitor to Red Hat, and you can't compete with Red Hat with just 20 people in the team. You need a good big company with big funding and all. So recently, not recently, 3 years back, IBM acquired Red Hat for, I think, $50 billion. Now you can think the scale. Think about the scale. Okay, so how much money you should have to compete with the Red Hat, right? Okay, so CentOS, likewise, Ubuntu. So Ubuntu operating system, the same thing. Use the Linux kernel, which is available for free, open source, right? Source code is there. And now the idea behind operating system Ubuntu was replacement of Windows. It was meant for old laptops or desktops, which were then, at that time, not supported by recent versions of Windows operating system. Okay. Let's say you remember Windows Vista. Windows 7, Windows 8. Okay. So all these operating system had, strict minimum requirements. For example, for Windows Vista, the strict minimum requirement was minimum 64 megabyte of video VRAM or video RAM. Okay, at that time, 32 was a big number, but it demanded 64. If there is no 64 MB VRAM on the motherboard, or if you don't have a dedicated graphics card with minimum 64 MB VRAM, then you cannot install Vista. Okay, and you have to stick with Windows XP. All right. So at that time, Ubuntu came up with a solution that you will get, best of the best graphics out of your hardware. Okay, doesn't matter how old your laptop or desktop is. So Ubuntu was designed keeping this in mind, reusability of old hardware in mind. Okay, so it was the replacement for Windows operating system, a desktop operating system, and also Ubuntu, distributed free DVDs and free CDs of Ubuntu operating system at that time. Okay. So again, every operating system which is there in the market has a niche, has a, target audience. Like Red Hat, target audience is companies, enterprise. CentOS, it is for everyone, for developers, testers, for beginners, startup companies, and etc. And let me also tell you, CentOS has been acquired by Red Hat. And now Red Hat uses CentOS operating system as their test operating system. And now it is no longer safe to be used on production servers. Although Red Hat offers free subscription, you as a student, you as a learner, you can apply for that free subscription. You get 1 year free subscription and you can run 16 servers with that subscription, which means free updates on all those 16 servers. Okay, so it is very good for startups. Okay, so like startups cannot afford like $300 fee for every server. Let's say they have like 10 servers. They cannot afford like recurring fee of $3,000 every year. So instead, use the free subscription, again provided by Red Hat. You don't have to pay anything, right? Okay, so this is the overall idea about the inception of Linux and the evolution of it, right? Let me go back to the PPT. And guys, if you have any more doubts, let me know. I am also checking the chats. Okay, so how will you distribute or distinguish the task of Linux admin and a Linux manager? Sudhir, I'm sorry, I'm not getting the question. Uh, what is a Linux manager? I'm sorry. Can you please elaborate on that? Okay, so you can also type it in the chat at the same time. Let me browse the scroll the PPT. Okay, so as I said, RHEL versus CentOS, I've already explained. Okay, so Linux in DevOps. Why are we learning Linux? And why is this the first tool to learn? First of all, when we say DevOps, again, I told you it's all about tools. Those tools need to be installed on some operating system, and those tools work the best on Linux. Okay, so that's why we are learning Linux first. Tools like Ansible, Puppet Chef. Puppet Chef used to be there in the market, but they are out of the market because now Ansible is ruling the automation scenario. Okay, and Linux is best for infrastructure automation. Okay, so that's why we are learning Linux. Containers, Dockers, we can Docker containers we can run on Linux operating system and many more things.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hi, Amit. As you said, this CentOS is acquired by Red Hat, so the existing systems are running on CentOS. So will there have any impact on those systems?
Okay, so CentOS version 7, 8. These can be used on production servers, but the sad thing is, uh, CentOS has stopped the development of CentOS 7 and CentOS 8. Okay, right now, the current version is CentOS Stream 9 and Stream 10. The word stream basically means it is the upstream for Red Hat, which means the changes are made here first, tested, and once the changes are successfully tested, the same changes are then uh, ported onto the RHEL version 9 or version 10. So this is a test operating system. Okay. If it had been like 2015 or 2016, then yes, CentOS 7, CentOS 8, you can use it on production servers. At that time, CentOS was releasing updates for these versions, but not now. Okay, so if you are using these operating systems on production server, number one, these operating systems are now, first of all, out of the market, end of life, no security updates, and they are now vulnerable to the attacks. Okay, there are there are so many patches which are not applied, vulnerabilities are not fixed, so that's why it's a good idea to migrate to a newer version. But the problem here is CentOS Stream 9 and 10. These are test OS for Red Hat. Okay, these are the test OS for RHEL. Before anything goes into RHEL, or if there is any update on the RHEL, those updates are tested here, which means CentOS Stream 9 and 10, this is not a stable operating system. It may contain bugs, okay, because the testing team or the development team are still fixing things and improving it, okay, right? So this is
So
the
are
scenario.
the CentOS, these old versions are still available for download?
Yes, these are archived and still available to download, but as I said, these are vulnerable. These are not patched. And
Mhm.
vulnerability means attackers can easily get access to the system.
Yeah, I got it. And in this classes, we are going to have CentOS or Red Hat for practice?
I'll show you both the things. I'll show you how to acquire a free license on Red Hat, and I'll be, practicing. I'll be teaching you on CentOS Stream 10, the latest version. I can also
Stream.
use Red Hat 10, doesn't matter. I can use the same because both operating systems are exactly the same. Same interface, same commands, same
And
everything
the
exactly
commands
the
and
same.
all are same on both the.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. As I said, the only difference is the subscription. With Red Hat, if you are an organization, you need to buy subscription. Okay, and then you will get free updates and support as well. Uh, but with CentOS, updates are free. Okay, so the most convenient operating system here for DevOps is CentOS. Even Ubuntu, we can also use Ubuntu, free to use, free to update, no support. Okay, same thing. Okay, it's like that. So next is the purpose. Why was Ubuntu operating system developed? As a replacement for Opera Windows on old laptops and desktops like that. Okay, just a second. All right. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. Okay, so popular distros or distributions for DevOps: Ubuntu, RHEL, and CentOS. These are the three. Okay, so same thing. Okay, now let's get started with the operating system. Okay, before I explain how to install CentOS Linux operating system on a virtual machine, let me just go through this slide, one last slide. What is an operating system actually? What is the purpose? First of all, operating system is a complex software that is going to manage computer hardware, software resources, and it is also going to provide common services for computer programs. For example, there is a computer program which needs to access the network. Okay, so the network service will can only be accessed only if the operating system allows it. Okay, so there is an ecosystem, processes are running in the background, and they are then allowed to access the hardware with the help of the kernel. So it's a complex operating system, complex system. Okay, so what are the main features of an OS? It applies to any operating system, not only Linux. Number one, the hardware management. Okay, so operating system should be able to identify the hardware and use it, right? Memory management, since memory or the RAM is not in abundance, like you may have 1 TB hard disk, but you cannot have 1 TB of RAM. You can purchase, let's say you have the pocket, you can purchase it, but it's going to be really expensive. If 1 TB hard disk is like $4,000, 1 TB RAM is going to be 10 times of it, even more. Okay, so it is not feasible. Secondly, the hardware. Your laptop may be able to support at max 32 GB RAM or 64 GB. That's it. The server level hardware is capable of supporting multiple terabytes of RAM, 5 terabytes, not five, like 1 terabyte, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 terabytes, and so on. Okay. So not the consumer grade hardware. Even the desktops, I have seen desktops going till like how much? 128 GB RAM. That's it. Not more than that. Okay. And 64 GB, I've seen a laptop going 64 GB maximum. My laptop has 32 GB. Okay. Or it can also go till 64, but I have capped it at 32. Okay. So memory management, the operating system should be able to manage the memory because, again, not in abundance. Maybe you have a 8 GB RAM on your laptop. So applications, when they launch, they use RAM. They need RAM to launch. Okay. If multiple applications are launching, the chances are the 8 GB RAM will be exhausted. Now, operating system has to manage not to exhaust the RAM. There has to be some, buffer, let's say 1 or 2 GB free all the time. How will it happen? It happens internally with the help of swap or virtual RAM. It manages it. Okay. Then manage multitasking. The same thing, launching multiple applications, and all those applications should run independently without any performance drop. It's again a feature of an operating system. Manage multiple users. Like in Windows laptop or desktop, we don't really do that. It's like, a kind of a personal laptop or desktop, and you are the only one who is using it. Maybe your sibling using the same account. Okay. But on a server, um, you'll see, when we reach at that point, you'll see multiple users can parallelly log in. Okay. And then they can just do whatever they are required to do. And operating system will allow that. Okay. So operating system will uh, keep all these sessions active. Okay. And again, no performance drop. Use This is basically managing multiple users by the operating system. Next is process management. It is linked with multitasking itself. Okay. But there is one more thing like process scheduling, process priority, prioritize one process, then other process. Let's say you as an administrator on an operating system, Linux, Windows, doesn't matter. You want to make sure that the database service or the database application should perform at its best every time. There should be no performance drop. So you need to run that application with high priority. Okay, how to do that? Obviously, there are commands. Okay, an operating system will support that. Then device management. Again, it is linked to hardware management. In the device management, let's say you connect a new hardware. Operating system should be able to detect it, initialize the hardware. Initialize means prepare the hardware for use, and then operating system should allow users to use it. Okay. Next is error handling and logging. Error handling and logging, again, it is very important. This is again not only on Linux or Windows, it is everywhere, even on your phone, the apps, um, hardware, and the software. These two components generate messages time to time. Those messages can be generated after every minute, every hour, every second, doesn't matter. There is a trigger, and then there will be a message. For example, Bluetooth connected successfully. It's a message. Okay, it will be generated. Bluetooth disconnected. It's a message. Okay, or a problem or issues while, let's say, restarting Bluetooth device. Again, it's a message, a error message maybe. So all these messages are captured by the operating system, which are generated by hardware or the software, and those messages are then saved in a file. Those are called log files. Okay, so this is error handling and logging. Okay, so it happens everywhere, even on your phones. Okay. All right. So again, this is the same thing: origin of Linux, the world of open source. Uh, these are basically, definitions and few more lines for you to read and understand. Tomorrow I'll cover this part, which is the Red Hat ecosystem. Okay, not right now. Let's focus on how to install CentOS or Red Hat operating system on a virtual machine. Before that, how to obtain the file, the installer file. We call it as ISO file. Okay. So I'll tell you about both the things, CentOS and Red Hat, obviously. Okay. So most of the things you can just simply Google. For example, download CentOS ISO, enter. So ISO files, basically, these are the installer files using which you can install the operating system. So here is the first link, download the CentOS project, click on it. And also let me share the link in the chat. Okay. At the same time, there are few chats as well. Hold on, guys. Okay. So administrator who is reporting to the manager. Normally we say, see, the managers in the organizations, they are not technical every time, but there will be a team lead who is technical, who is the senior most Linux administrator. Okay. And the team is going to report to the team lead, right? So it's like that. Okay. So what was the question? How will you distribute or distinguish the task of a Linux admin? Okay. Very good. So who is going to do what? So there are levels of support basically within the team. L1, L2, sorry, L1, L2, L3, like that. So L1, someone who is a fresher in Linux, that is under L1 support. L2, intermediate skills, and L3, the SME, subject matter expert. So team leads are SMEs. What task SME is going to perform? Mainly the heavy lifting, like troubleshooting. Okay, or maybe some reconfiguration is required. So SME is going to validate the configuration. Okay, or let's say advanced setups like cluster setup. So the SME is going to be involved in this project or this task, and SME is going to draft a plan, and that plan will be executed by L2 resource or L1 resource. Okay, or mix of L1 and L2. Okay, like this. Okay, so freshers are going to report to SME, intermediate, again with experience. Experienced Linux administrators are again going to report to the SME or the team lead. So this is how it works. And then on the top, there is the manager. Again, the manager might be technical or not, doesn't matter. In my organization where I work, the manager is non-technical, doesn't know anything about Linux. But there is an SME who knows everything. Okay. All right. So this is the download page. In fact, I have shared the URL in the chat as well. Okay. So what are we looking for? We are looking for the ISO file for CentOS stream version 10. You see these buttons 10 and 9. Make sure 10 is highlighted. And then the architecture. CentOS stream can be installed on a 64-bit operating system. Oh, sorry, 64-bit processor. Okay, let me tell you a few things also. So when we talk about the CPU processor, the CPU can have 64-bit architecture, 32-bit architecture. Okay, and then there is a different category which is called ARM, right? And one more is there. Okay, IBM Power and IBM Z. IBM Power is called PPC64LE. And the last one is called S390X. Okay, so these two are proprietary to IBM. Okay, so very few processors are out there in the market. But yes, CentOS provides support, which means CentOS can be installed in these processors as well on these hardware. Then ARM, really popular by Snapdragon Elite chips. Okay, so if you have a laptop with Snapdragon chip or Snapdragon CPU, you need to download the ARM version of the file. You see this ARM64, and you can download the ISO. Here is the mirror option. Okay, just click on it, download will start. What about if you have Apple Silicon? It's also based on ARM. Okay, so not only Snapdragon, but Apple Silicon like M1, M2, M3, M4. I think M5 is the latest one. So M1 till M5, you need to download this one. Okay. Intel CPUs, 64-bit, 32-bit, they are supported on Intel and AMD CPUs as well, obviously. So x86-64 represents 64-bit. So now, if your laptop is AMD CPU or Intel CPU, use the first mirror, first button here, ISO. Okay. If your laptop is Apple Silicon, it's a MacBook, or Snapdragon equipped with Snapdragon CPU, use the second link to download the ISO file. Last two options are not applicable because there is no consumer grade hardware with IBM Power CPU. Okay, these are all server level hardware. Okay. All right, so just a second, guys. Yeah. All right, so my laptop supports basically my laptop is I think it's AMD or i7. Hold on, I forgot. You can easily check that in Task Manager performance. CPU. Okay, so it's AMD Ryzen. So yeah, 64-bit. So click on mirrors and it will pop up the save as window. Send to a stream 10 latest 64-bit dvd1.iso. It's going to be 8 or 9 GB file. I have already downloaded it. Let me show you. It's already there by size. Uh, Here it is. Send to a stream 10, right? It's already there. It's 7.60. So 7.60 GBs. It's going to take some time based on your network connectivity. Okay, so once you have this ready, next step is to download the software using which you are going to create the virtual machine. Okay, so these are the steps. Step number 1, obtain the ISO file. Step number 2, to install the virtualization platform. In the case of Windows, you will have to install VMware Workstation. Although there are some alternatives available like Oracle VirtualBox, okay, or Microsoft's own Hyper-V. These all are available. And yes, you can use them. But what I feel is if you're a fresher and if you're new to virtualization, just simply use VMware Workstation. This is the, I mean, uh, easiest and with less bugs, basically. Hyper-V is also easy, but I will still prefer VMware Workstation Pro. Earlier, Workstation Pro was a paid tool. You need to pay like $200, I think. And then you get a license number, and then you use that license number to activate it. But now, after the acquisition of VMware by Broadcom, Broadcom has, basically made it free for everyone. Workstation Pro is now free. No need to pay anything, right? Whereas on Mac, okay, so on Mac, you need to download VMware Fusion, Fusion or Fusion Pro. Okay, I'll just check. It's I think only Fusion, but let's check. Although the alternatives are available, but again, I would really suggest you guys to use VMware Fusion or Fusion Pro. Okay, we'll see how to download. Once we have these applications installed, one of the, I mean, if you're using Mac or Windows, you'll be using only one, right? The third step is to create the virtual machine. Okay. And the fourth step is to install operating system. So it's a 4-part or a 4-step procedure. Okay. All right. So we have the ISO. We have just downloaded CentOS Stream 9, or sorry, Stream 10, right? Since I'm on Windows, I'll be downloading VMware Workstation Pro. So in order to download this for free, you need to first of all sign up. Sign up on Broadcom support. Okay. And then go to the free downloads page. And then download the application. And from free downloads, you can download Workstation Pro or Fusion Pro. All those are listed over there. Okay. All right. So just a second. Okay, before that, I told you about the CentOS. What about Red Hat? How to obtain the Red Hat ISO? Okay, so CentOS, I've just told you. What about the Red Hat? So for Red Hat, it's a 2-step procedure. Step number 1 is to sign up as developer on redhat.com. Okay. And then step 2 is activate the 1-year free subscription. What after 1 year? You can renew it for free. Just simply click on it. Okay, I'll tell you how to do that. It's very easy. Now I think they have removed this. The subscription get auto renewed. So this 1-year free subscription carries forward to the next year, next year, next year, like that. Okay. So activate the 1-year free subscription and download the ISO. Okay, so when you sign up as a developer, automatically the subscription, 1 year free subscription gets activated. And then in the next page, you download the ISO. Okay, so this is the step. And when you sign up, just remember the credentials, the username, password, whatever you're using, you need to basically save it somewhere in a notepad. Okay, so let me show you how it works. So in order to obtain the Red Hat ISO, RHEL version 10 ISO, go to the developers.redhat.com, sharing the link in the chat. And guys, it's going to be a 1 hour class. Okay. So 1 hour class for the next 9 days or 8 days. And after that, we'll switch to 1.5 hour class. Okay. Okay. One more thing. Someone is asking, what are the other options available, like RPM, cloud, container, vagrant? Okay, so we are going to create a virtual machine. We need the ISO file. If you're looking for some some applications for that operating system, like in Windows, there is an exe. Like you want to install Firefox, you will download exe file, firefox.exe. Similarly, that executable file in CentOS and Red Hat is called RPM. Okay, so if you want to download a specific RPM file, this is the link. If you want to use the operating system on a cloud instance, let's say you want to install CentOS on Azure Cloud Virtual Machine, then you can download the CentOS cloud image from here. Okay, like in Amazon, we say AMI. You can download the AMI from here. Okay, and containers. Again, this is again, a topic which we need to cover. Then you'll be able to understand. But yes, container images are also available. And Vagrant. Vagrant is again an automation tool using which you can automate virtual machine creation. I'll show you how it is done. It's very easy. Okay. So the same company who developed Terraform has developed Vagrant as well. Again, an automation tool. Okay. So I'll tell you how it works. Okay. Not very important, but yes, if you know it, it will help you build or spin up your lab really easy and quickly. You don't have to install anything. Everything will be installed automatically. This is the power of Vagrant. Okay. So we'll touch Vagrant later, not right now. Okay. So in developers.redhat.com, step number 1 is to register for an account. You click on it and it will ask for a unique username, password, and few more details. Just fill up the form. Okay, choose a Red Hat login, password, first name, last name, email ID, job role. Okay, so if you're not working anywhere, you can select anything. Just select CEO of any organization or whatever you want to do. Okay, but if you're working and you want to share this information, just select the correct information. It's up to you. Okay, so important thing is here. I have read and uh, I have read and agree to all the terms and conditions. Checkbox. So there are 3 checkboxes. The last one is really important, which says Red Hat developer subscription for individuals. Now, this is that 1 year free subscription. Okay, so you have to check these last 3 boxes. First one, you can ignore it. Okay, so you make sure you check all the last 3 boxes, and this way you will get 1 year free subscription. You can run 16 virtual machines. You can update 16 virtual machines with this subscription. I'll tell you how it is done. Okay, and simply create your account. Once you hit create my account, you will get a verification email. Verify using your, I mean, if you're using your Gmail ID, open your Gmail, okay, and verify it, and then log in back. So I'm going to log in. I already have my account, so I'm going to log in. Okay, so this is how you log in. Now we need to download RHEL version 10, Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 10. Here you will see Red Hat product downloads. Okay, ebooks, cheat sheets. There are many more things which I'll cover as we proceed. So the first link, Red Hat product downloads. Click on it. Okay, so it says feature downloads, RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Red Hat OpenShift, Ansible, OpenJDK. Again, we are focused on Linux right now. We'll deal with Ansible later. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux is the first option. Click on it. Now here it says download RHEL at no cost. Okay, don't click it. It will download the incorrect version of the ISO file. Okay, so right now, simply click on more ways to try. Okay, so it will scroll down and now keep on scrolling till you see all downloads. Here it is, all downloads. Okay, and here you will see all the versions of Linux of RHEL which are available. Okay, so RHEL 10.1 is the latest, and then RHEL 9.7 is the latest in RHEL 9. Okay, it started with 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, and 9.7 is the latest. You also have RHEL 10.0, the older version, still here. Okay, but I would suggest download RHEL 10.1. Okay, and here again the same options. Okay, here the IBM option is missing. That's okay. So x86, ARC64, x86, ARC64. What is this? Why is this repeating? It's repeating because the type of the ISOs, there are multiple types of the ISOs. You see boot ISO, DVD ISO, DVD ISO, and WSL2. WSL is Windows Subsystem for Linux, which means on Windows operating system, you can activate this feature WSL and you can install Linux as an application, as an app. You can do that. Okay, you can install uh, directly from the Play Store as well. Like Red Hat is not in the not the Play Store, Microsoft Store. Red Hat is not here, but CentOS is here or Ubuntu is here. See this, Ubuntu enter. You can install Ubuntu operating system as an application in Windows. So Windows has actually enabled this, and it is done with the help of, you see this, Linux WSL, Windows subsystem for Linux WSL. Okay, you have to enable it by default. I think it is enabled in Windows 11, but otherwise, if it is not, you have to enable it separately. Okay, so we are not going to use it. We are going to use the DVD ISO. Boot ISO is just 900 megabytes. It's not the complete operating system. We need to download the DVD ISO for 64-bit, or in the case of M1, M2, the Apple Silicon, the ARC64 version. Okay. So for me, it is this link, download 9.47 GB. Click on it and the download save as box will pop up and you save this file. Okay. It's working. Yeah, it's loading. Let's wait. And here it is. Again, I have already downloaded it. It's already there in my system. Hold on. Here it is. CentOS 10, sorry, RHEL 10 DVD ISO. I also have RHEL 9.6 DVD ISO. Okay. It's already there. So this is how we obtain next obtain the ISO. Next one is to install VMware Workstation Pro, which we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. And as I said, tomorrow I'm going to share the Google Drive link, Telegram group link, and in the Google Drive, I'll be sharing the materials in advance, Linux material, first of all. The PPTs will be there. The PPT, one PPT with 300 slides. Daily notes will be uploaded like this one. This will be uploaded onto the same Google Drive. Okay. And the Telegram group, which you guys need to join for the, updates, daily updates, or maybe we can also discuss things in the Telegram group. Okay. Yes, Rakesh, with every session.
Just as
Yes, please. Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
yeah, for the CentOS, it's a separate logging account, right? And the Red Hat Linux, that is a separate login account. So we
For
have to
CentOS,
download these two ISOs.
no, no, no. I just gave you an option. If you want to practice CentOS, you can use CentOS. If you want to practice with Red Hat, you can use Red Hat. Okay. But in the class, I'll be using CentOS.
Clear. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. As I said, CentOS and Red Hat fundamentally are exactly the same commands. The only difference is subscription. Okay. So in Red Hat, there is a subscription system. You have to first activate the subscription, then you will get updates. In CentOS, it's not required. You will start getting updates. The moment you install the OS, you can also update it immediately. Okay. Okay, Rakesh is asking at the end of the class, assign some task or homework. Yes, obviously. Right now, we're just starting. So once we cover the first topic, which is the basic commands and all. So after the topic ends or the last of the topic, you will get to see the labs and the guided exercise. Okay, so we'll be discussing. And obviously, like I said, the material will be there on the Google Drive. Ebooks are there. In every ebook, in the Linux ebook, you will find the end of chapter labs and exercises as well. Okay. Are we going to install the database? Yes, we are going to install database on the cloud. If you want, I can show you how to install it on the operating system as well. Okay. Okay. And okay, Rakesh is asking, our company recently started using Elma Linux. Okay, so Elma Linux is using Red Hat source code. So it is stable, it is free of bugs, it is not using CentOS source code, it is using Red Hat RHEL source code. Okay, so it is free to use, free to download, free updates, not used for production servers. And yeah, so it is like that. Okay, so we'll talk about Elma Linux as we proceed. Okay, even in more detail. Okay, so guys, that's it for today. As I said, we'll start with step number 2 and 3 and 4 tomorrow. We'll deploy the virtual machine. We'll see how the operating system is installed and many more things. Okay. And this is it for today, guys. Thank you for joining. Let's connect tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
In fact, good night.
Good day.